Hello YouTube. Can you believe it? It is a Formex 3.5. You see, this knife has never been sold in America before. You see, the length is 3.5 inch, yet it is still saying Formex Scout. What is this? Let's find out. So I bought this one authentic Formex Scout from Amazon in January 2022. The price was about $74 shipped. Arrived in 2 days. I love this monster. And this one, out of curiosity, I found this in Aliexpress in 2022 April. The shipped price was $23, arrived in 20 days. So arrived in 2 days versus 20 days. $23 versus $73. So there is a $50 more price on the authentic one. This one is cheap. Is this real triad lock? Let's find out. So if you press, indeed it acts like a triad lock, but I can feel it is very weak. I mean the spring tension is very weak. So for people who hate cold steel triad lock, a lot of people complain about this triad lock. It's hard to close and hard to deploy. You see, I can do it with one action, but a lot of users say they have problem to push open the triad lock, especially on the Formex Scout. I don't have problem with that, but if you hate the tight triad lock, maybe you want to try the Chinese counterfeit cold steel. I'm not selling this. I'm not getting any money from Aliexpress. I buy this just out of curiosity because you see it is very fun. It says Formex. The cold steel Formex stands for 4-inch maximum utility by Andrew Demko. But when I put this counterfeit alongside with the real stuff, I cannot stop laughing because it looks so cute. I call this Formex Baby or Formex Mini. You need to pay extra money to get iPhone mini or whatever mini. So maybe some people consider the mini version as a benefit. Let me close it again and show you. It indeed, to my surprise, has steel liner. I know it is steel because see, a magnet will be attracted onto the liner and the back lock plate everywhere. So they are really using the steel instead of aluminum liner, or some counterfeit just don't use the liner. But they still use the liner, and the gap between the stop pin and the back stop bar is very tight. So I believe it's kind of an okay copy of triad lock. But I found a weird spot. You see, I can open this counterfeit fully deployed with a magnet. I can never achieve that on real cold steel. Let me show you my real cold steel I bought from Amazon, sold by Amazon. You see, the spring retention is very tight. There is no way you can use a magnet to pull out the real Formex Scout blade. Not only on Formex Scout, let me show you other smaller cold steel such as this one, the Counterpoint 1. This Counterpoint 1 is similar to the Formex Scout. They are both 4-inch, but this one is much lighter. I still cannot open it with my magnet. There are a lot of counterfeit of this Immortal on AliExpress, but this one is authentic because I bought it about 2 or 3 years ago, Black Friday, from coldsteel.com. So it is a real cold steel copy of Immortal. You can pull the blade out, but I can never deploy a real cold steel with a magnet. So Immortal and the Counterpoint 1 and the Formax Scout, they are all real cold steel, and I cannot open the blade with a magnet. So maybe next time when you find a cold steel knife, and if you want to test whether they are authentic, you just do this. Find a magnet. If you can deploy it with a magnet, then it's counterfeit. But for this baby Formax Scout, you don't need a magnet. You just need a ruler. You see, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch half. The real Formax Scout, of course, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, right at 4 inch of the blade. I really love the Formax Scout, the shape and the weight, especially the weight. The weight made me feel so comfortable in hand. I play with this knife so much. I think this helped me to stop my iPhone addiction. So every time I want to play with iPhone, checking the Facebook, I just took my Formax Scout out and flip it in my hand and appreciate the profile. The profile has a beautiful curve here, became thicker, and the blade became thinner. And the blade profile here has a lot of curve and a lot of contour. It's not a simple grind. It's a beautiful compound grind. And the steel liner made it heavy. Also, the Voyager series used aluminum liner to cut down the weight by 3 ounces. I still like the Formax Scout steel liner more. It's a beast. So let's talk about more of this fake copycat Formax Scout Mini. You can see the clip is also smaller and the counterfeit one is shinier. Also, the counterfeit one is also stone washed. I have to tell you, the authentic one, the stone wash, is way more beautiful. Way more beautiful. This, I can see it's a stone washed, but it's just, I doesn't feel it's a high quality item, but it's only $23 shipped. I won't complain. So how do I use this? Of course, I won't use it as a bush knife. I won't use it to fight. I won't use it to do anything difficult. But I think it's hard enough to cut paper. Don't you think so? So I use this to open letters. It's a good letter opener. It's very sharp. I don't feel any difference in sharpness with the real cold steel. What is fun is they dare to print OS 10A Taiwan. I believe it is all fake because it is not cold steel. So why would you believe it's a OS 10A? It's a Japanese steel.